another big thing to mention with this movie is the song Writing on the Wall.
Writings on the Wall?
Written by Jimmy Napes and Sam Smith, sung by Sam Smith. It is, personally for me, not my favorite Bond song. I think Skyfall is still the best modern Bond song there's been in a long, long time. I think Writing on the Wall is weird. Actually won Best Original Song that year at the Oscars. The same award that was previously won by the Adele song, the last Bond movie that had come out. But personally, for me, it's not my favorite.
It won an Oscar?
I like Sky.
Writings on the Wall won an Oscar?
Yeah. I was shocked. I was like, really? That one? Not my favorite. I would have loved if they were just like, if we're going to go back to tradition, let's bring back like Adele again, kind of like they brought back Shirley Bassey for Goldfinger and then Diamonds Are Forever. It's like, let's bring her back. Let's do another one. If we had Scott here, he would probably tell us like, oh, you don't get it. Sam Smith's so genius. And I'm like,
it would be nice to have Scott here. It's been since the GoldenEye episode, since anybody's even heard from Scott. So it'd be nice if he came back.
Do you think he's coming back?
I don't know.
It would be nice if he came back, but I don't know what he's been up to. I've tried to call him a couple times, and he's not answering my calls.
It's
I don't
like
know if I did something to him.
he fell off the face of the earth. Nobody has heard from Scott since GoldenEye. But if he was here, he might agree with me where remember what I said about Quantum of Solace, that after you have a big hit like Casino, everybody is that much more critical of the follow-up. And I think that's...
Okay, so you think Sam Smith's song's not as good? Like, isn't as bad? You like it?
I like Writings on the Wall. I think people are more critical of it specifically because it's the follow-up to Skyfall. It's not Skyfall. It's never going to be as good as Skyfall. But on its own, I'm like, this is and I think Sam Smith is a psycho. I mean, he has turned into a weirdo psychopath. But separating art from artist, which I'm very good at doing, I remember I remember first seeing this movie and being like, oh, that song was different and it's not as big. It's certainly
weird.
It's more muted.
It's a weird song because it goes up and then all of a sudden it's like drops down a little bit in what he's saying, and you feel like there's going to be this big buildup like this movie, and then it just kind of peters out. It's like,
we talked about how Skyfall was such a good song because it was very much an old school Goldfinger-esque song where it's big horns and it's just like a classic Bond song. Whereas this, it'll suddenly just cut out the orchestration and suddenly just be Sam Smith. I was honestly shocked when, after seeing the movie for the first time, suddenly all these people were coming through and saying, I hate it. They were straight up saying they hate the song. And I was like, well, why? It's not terrible. Why do you hate it? And I can't help but think it's because they are subconsciously comparing it to Skyfall in the same way that people compare Quantum to Casino.
Maybe. It grows on you a little bit. But I think really, again, it's a very strange song where it like goes up and then you think it's going to go here and then it kind of drops back down. You're like, I was expecting up. And you gave me down, and I don't like that.
I have to risk it all, 'cause the writing's on the wall.
Adele was big, and so they bring her in. Sam Smith was really big, and then eventually Miss Eyelash, they bring her in. Like, it's always whoever just won an Oscar, whoever just won a Grammy.
I mean, we've criticized that in the past, and we realized that over time. We're like, oh, it's always been that way. That's never changed. They've always been doing that since at least the 70s for sure.